Who could possibly be Sid's monster? Who would be scary enough to frighten that kid? I know who it is, and in this video, I'll tell you everything about Sid's monster. Get ready because today you're going to go wild with my new theory. Let's go! This video is amazing, so make sure to leave a like because you're gonna love it. I've always wondered, who could be Sid's monster? We know the monsters of various kids in Pixar's world, but we don't know Sid's. Well, not until now. So, pay attention to every detail and every line in this video, because it's all super important. First of all, as Pixar theory suggests, all the films exist within a shared universe, meaning all the characters belong to a single universe. And you know those doors in Monsters Incorporated that transport them anywhere? They can travel through space and time, allowing monsters to reach any era in history, any year, any time. As we all know, these doors always lead to a child's room. Now, keeping that in mind, let's look at the monsters. To be Sid's monster, the creature has to be the monster, right? A really scary one. Only a top scarer could properly scare Sid, right? Wrong. So wrong. Sid is actually quite a coward. He's brave with things or people he feels superior to, like he is with his toys. But what happens when Woody and the others start showing they're actually alive and even talking to him? What happens? Sid gets scared, panics, and runs away. He was a total coward despite everything he put those toys through. The toys have lives, and they confront him, and he just runs. If he felt so superior to toys, then why does it matter if they talk? He could have continued his experiments, maybe even enjoyed it more, knowing they're alive, especially since Sid's a bit off. But no, he becomes a coward in a split second, revealing he's always been afraid, as we see in that scene. So if toys with lives can scare Sid, imagine what a real monster would do to him. What do you think a real monster could do to him? If you're enjoying this video and want to know who Sid's monster is, then hit like and subscribe if you're new here, because you'll find out loads of animation theories. Considering all this, Sid's monster wouldn't even need to be the biggest, scariest monster of all. No, any monster would scare him. But then, who is Sid's monster? His name is Pete Claus Ward, that big blue guy. I really like this character. Pay close attention now because the next few minutes are super important. Claus is seen coming out of the room he just scared, quickly closing the door behind him. Did you notice something? I bet you didn't. So let's slow the scene down. This way, we can see a poster on the wall. Look closely at this poster, and when we look at Sid's room in Toy Story, that very same poster is hanging on the wall. Notice that it's the same thing, the same photo, the same poster, the same name written on it. Surprised? So was I. Right after this, we get this scene.
The kid almost touched me. She got this close to me.
She wasn't scared of you? She was only 6!
Did you catch that Claus said a girl almost touched him, and his friend mentioned she's 6 years old? Also, the poster isn't on the same wall in Monsters Incorporated and Toy Story. Sid is about 11 years old, so what's going on here? Remember how I said the doors in Monsters Incorporated can transport them to any place in time and space? That's exactly what happened. They went back in time, around 3 or 4 years before Toy Story, when Sid shared a room with his sister, Hannah. This is crucial. Remember, they slept in the same room. At that time, Sid was about 8 years old, and his sister was 6. Things are starting to make sense. The goal of the monsters is to enter rooms and scare children, and nothing prevents them from scaring 2 siblings sharing the same room. It's even better for the monsters. 1 door, 2 scares. So, when Claus said she almost touched him, he was referring to Hannah, Sid's sister, meaning Hannah isn't scared of him, similar to how Boo wasn't scared of Sully. But Sid is scared of Claus, and he's always been quite fearful, so it was easy to scare him. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell, because we have new videos every day for you who are a fan of animations. Thank you so much! If you look closely, when Claus goes into their room, something interesting happens. As he enters, the energy cylinder begins to fill, but then it drains back to 0. What happened here? Why did the energy rise rise and then drop. Since Claus knew Sid was more scared than his sister, he would go in, scare Sid first, and get some energy. He'd do this every time, and if there was time, he'd try to scare Hannah too. But his focus was always Sid, because Sid scares easily. So Claus scares Sid, who starts freaking out and screaming, making the cylinder fill. But then, Hannah wakes up and chases after Claus. She wants to play with him, just like Boo did with Sully, jumping on him, running after him, all that. And since monsters believe kids are toxic, they avoid touching them, fearing for their lives. That's exactly what Claus did. Hannah chased after him, and he panicked. Then, Sid stopped screaming when he saw all the chaos, causing the cylinder to drain. Claus rushed back to the monster world, leading to the scene I mentioned earlier. And I noticed another Easter egg, a strong reference that further proves this monster is Sid's monster. I think it's already pretty clear that it's him, but there's one very important detail. When Claus opens the door and leaves the room, you can hear heavy rock music playing in the background. This is clearly a reference to Sid, because what do we see in his room in Toy Story 1? Tons of rock posters. Claus really is Sid's monster. As the years went by, Sid and Hannah grew up. Sid moved out of that room and into the one we see in Toy Story, taking that poster along with him. In Toy Story, we see several posters scattered around Sid's room, meaning he loves posters. Meanwhile, in Hannah's room, she put up floral wallpaper with no posters at all. That poster belonged to Sid, and the monster was Sid's. If you love Pixar movies as much as I do, you'll enjoy watching this video about why there are no motorcycles in the movie Cars. And no, it's not just because the movie's called Cars. I also have another theory proving that Boo from Monsters Incorporated is actually Andy's mom in Toy Story. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Cine Lovers.